Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. Before we begin this lesson, we want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahasham,
Bahashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Bahasham,
Bahashem,
Rachakwadash.
Rachakadash.
And double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. And sincere Shalom to the hopeful elect out there listening, learning, and or teaching. Shalom to you all. All right, so today's topic, we're going to go into the story in the book of Genesis where it says the word rib and it talks about how the Lord, uh, basically made Eve, just in simple terms. But the world, they have their version of that, all right, which is false. And we're going to give you the 100% truth of what that means. Okay, so we're just going to jump right into it. This is Genesis chapter 1 and verse 27.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. So power created man in his own image. In the image of power created he him. Male and female created he them.
You see, so here it's telling you how the Lord created both man and female already. Okay, so now we're going to jump to chapter 2 of Genesis, and we're going to start reading from the 21st verse.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 21. It says, And the Lord Yahweh power caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof.
Gone. Yep, and then we'll go to verse 22.
All right. Verse 22. And the rib which the Lord power, which Yahweh power had taken from man, made he a woman and brought her unto the man.
Gone. So right here, this is where in the Christian church or in the world, people will, scoff and talk about, oh, well, how's the Lord going to make a woman out of a rib, because it's not even saying that. All right, this is a dark saying. Okay, so no, the Lord did not, give Adam anesthesia and cut him up with a suture and pull his rib out and stitch him back up and create a woman out of that. No. So what is actually saying here, okay, the word rib is going into close family members or kin, kindred, close family members. Okay. So basically the Lord took a woman who was very close kindred to Adam, could have been his sister or something like that, because there were very few people on the earth during this time. So, there wasn't this gigantic pool of people that, Adam could just get with a woman who's, not closely related to him. So it had to be done that way. And just to get a precept on that, we're gonna go to uh, Genesis chapter 29, and then we're gonna start reading from the 12th verse.
So we have Genesis 29, verse 12. It says, And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father.
Gone.
All right.
Yep.
And it came to pass when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob his sister's son, that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And
So
Laban
you,
said,
Salaki, go ahead.
And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him in a space for a month. Well, Salakia, with him the space of a month.
Gone. Yeah, the space of a month. But yeah, like it says, the point there is basically, how it's close family members talking, right? And he said, "Surely thou art my bone," right? So it's just like a figure of speech, like you know, back in the day, people used to say, "Oh, that's my rib," talking about their wife, okay, or talking about a close family member. That's your rib, all right? That's your bone, that's your flesh, right? Like nowadays, people say, we got the same blood, right? You're my cousin, you're my brother, we got the same blood. So that's all it's saying, all right? The Lord got a close family member of Adam to be his wife, all right? So now we're gonna go back to Genesis chapter 2, where we left off. And actually, we'll read that verse again. That'll be verse 22.
Verse 22 and 2 and 22.
Con.
All right. Genesis 2, verse 22. And the rib which the Lord, Salakia, man, dang. And the rib which Yahweh power had taken from man, made he a woman, and brought her unto the man.
Con. And then we'll go ahead and read the next verse.
Con. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man.
You see, so just like the other precept we went into, this is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Okay, so it's basically just a close family member. Nowadays we don't do that anymore, right? Because the law talks about brother and a sister can't get together, you know, um, although cousins can. All right, so that's the difference. Different family members you can and cannot get with, like aunts, and uncles and nephews and nieces. No, that's unlawful. Okay, but at the time the Lord had allowed it, so to speak, because there was so few people on earth. And then just to go into that, let's see here. Yeah, y'all could read about that in Leviticus chapter 18. Just give me 1 second. I just want to look and see what it says. Yeah. So if y'all want to go into that on your own, Leviticus 18, around the 6th verse to the 18th verse, it goes into, different family members, and how close of a family member you can marry, and then what the limit is, basically. Okay, and that's why if we keep reading on Genesis 2, we're gonna go into the next verse, Baba Kushah. That's gonna be verse 24.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
Yeah, which one flesh, that just means sex, the man, the woman, they come together. All right, they become one flesh. And then we'll go to verse 25.
Says, and they were both naked, and man and his wife, and were not ashamed.
Yeah, so they were close relatives, which would have been considered a sin, but the law was not written on paper yet. So they didn't know that they weren't doing it right, and basically or Salakia, they didn't know that it was a sin because the law has not been written on paper yet. But they were not ashamed because they didn't know, right? So the word naked, it goes into sin. Okay, so when you uncover your nakedness, that's your sin. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much what that means. It's not going into you getting your ribs surgically removed, and then that's how the Lord created woman, the first woman. No, that's not how that's going into, But yeah, man, I pray that lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. Just something quick. Want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham,
Rachakadash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us His truth, and shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.
Shalom.